Galimera, Galimera, Galimera. Good morning, good morning, good morning. As you can see, the chickens are all about. We've got a new look. There he is. Now, this is the new boy who's been hanging around the house for the last few days. He's been seen off, I've got to be honest, by some of our cats, but he looks a sweet little fella. He looks very healthy as well. So we got a feeling this might be a new addition who's slowly coming to the house at the moment. We haven't got a name for him. We haven't pre-named him or anything. But anyway, lovely to have him looking and just hanging around. He's sort of kind of getting his confidence at the moment. So there you go. That's probably our latest addition, slowly working his way in. As because we lost two cats, didn't we, in the last few weeks? We lost Jax. He passed away, bless him, and we also lost I can't remember the name of the other one, but anyway, yeah. So as one leaves, another one arrives. So anyway, bless him. He's here. Jane's just coming round to have a look at him. Oh, he's running away now. Bless him. Oh, anyway, let's have a quick look at the weather for today. The weather is well, it's a bit dull, a bit hazy, to be quite honest. Looking over the back of the house towards Laguna and also towards Kalamaki direction. You obviously just saw the oranges on the trees there, looking rather nice. A lot's been going on within the last 24 hours, which quite a bit of stop press news this morning as well, which I'm going to get into. But anyway, for those people who are looking at the weather at the moment, that's what it's like. It's a bit cloudy. The sun is trying to fight its way through. It's not cold either, which is nice. And although it is a bit humid on the ground, there's quite a lot of water, but we didn't have rain or anything. It's just that we seem to get these heavy dews in the morning. And again, looking across to the hills, going towards Amber Lockerbie and also down towards Kerry. Again, cloudy. Not too ominous of clouds, I've got to be honest. But anyway, we shall see what the day brings in the way of weather. Right, let's get to the news, because there's been so much going on within the last 24 hours. Can I say a big thank you to my viewer over there in Florida, Les Paul, for your information you gave me this morning. I'll be looking into that as well. Well, I've already been looking into that, and I'm actually going to basically cover that when I get to it, all right? So let's have a look at what's been going on in the last 24 hours here in Zakynthos then. 22nd of January, that's today, 2021. It's Friday. Where is this week gone? All right. So it's day 77 of the lockdown. And within the last 24 hours, these are the COVID figures numbers. 509 new infections were recorded yesterday. That's down from the day before where we had 516. So that's a positive, bringing the total amount at the moment to 150,479, of which 52% of those are male. Now, there was one identified case after checks at the country's gateways, and that was down from the day before, where there was 16. Now, stop press news for Zakynthos. First of all, yesterday afternoon, one new case was reported on Zakynthos. A 58-year-old man was diagnosed positive of the coronavirus after a test was performed at the General Hospital. The 58-year-old then went to the hospital and said he was suffering from mild symptoms, and he is obviously being released, and he's going into house quarantine for 14 days. And also all the contacts that gentleman has been in touch with, they're also being examined as well. Now, during the night, literally within the last 11 hours, there's been two further cases of coronavirus diagnosed last night after at the hospital. 46-year-old woman and her 18-year-old son. Now, they went to the hospital suffering from mild symptoms. Now, at the moment, the reports that I've been looking at here on the island doesn't say whether they were released and sent home, which I think probably will have happened. But anyway, the only other information from the local press at the moment is the fact that they are trying to trace their local contacts, obviously using their Greek system here. Anyway, this now brings the total cases of positive cases for coronavirus since the beginning of 2021. That's where I decided to start the number from, to 7 positive cases here on the island since then. So again, that's a little bit of an interesting story there. Anyway, as for deaths, there's been 25 new deaths across the country. That is down slightly from yesterday, where there was 27. The average age of those people passing away was 79 years of age, and it brings the grand total for people passing through the virus to 5,570. That was the total amount since the pandemic started. Just out of curiosity, if you're wondering what the average daily death rate in Greece was before COVID, in 2019, the average daily death rate was 329 deaths a day here in Greece. Just thought I'd chuck that in as well for you as well. Anyway, at the moment, more men have passed through to coronavirus, 3,286 of them, and females, 2,284. Now, and again, our condolences to families that may be affected as well. Right, let's go quickly now to look at the critical cases in hospitals at the moment, up and down the country. That is also down at the moment. 293 critical cases at the moment in ICUs across the country. That is down from 300. That's 205 males and 88 females. Seems women are getting better quicker than the men are. Anyways, the average age of those in ICUs is 69 years of age, and 70% of those have underlying health conditions. So there you go. Stop Press News this morning. Can I just again say thank you to Les Paul in Florida. He's been in touch with me privately and passing me information and messages. He said, just be aware, he said that there was an explosion yesterday in India, and I've actually checked on that explosion in India. 5 people have been killed after a huge fire broke out at the site of the world's largest COVID-19 vaccination manufacturer in India. Now, the smoke was seen billowing from the Serum Institute in India yesterday. A source at the institute has confirmed that the production of COVID jabs will not be affected, but the company has declined to comment. Anyway, the plant had hoped to vaccinate 30 million health and other frontline workers by August in the world's fastest jab rollout, and that's what's happening in India. Anyway, we'll keep an eye on that story. They say it's the COVID production in that plant hasn't been affected. But anyway, that's an ongoing story that is literally just hot off the press this morning. Anyway, the Greek Prime Minister, Mr. Mitsotakis, confirmed to Parliament yesterday that there are no plans to relax restrictions any further until the epidemiological situation in the country improves. On the day that the number of deaths in the US from coronavirus has now exceeded the number of Americans killed in World War II, a congratulatory message was sent to the new US President Joe Biden and his Vice President Kamala Harris, which was posted on the Twitter account by the Greek Foreign Minister Nikos Dentas. Anyway, he says warm congratulations to the new President Joe Biden and US Vice President Kamala Harris. Dentas said, posting a 2009 photo with the then Vice President Joe Biden when he represented the government at the White House event for the celebrations of the anniversary of 1821. That is when Greece became independent from the Ottomans. Anyway, he also said that the strength of Greece-US relations is at the highest level of all time. He said, we look forward to productive cooperation with the new president and the proposed foreign minister, Antony Blinken. The United States is a crucial partner for our country with whom we share a common strategic vision. The Greek Prime Minister, Mitsotakis, also said yesterday in Parliament that the new president is an experienced politician who knows very little about our region and our sensitivities, he added. But he is also a leader who walks with prudence, but also walks with self-confidence. But above all, he walks with a stable and non-negotiable values. Anyway, the government spokesman, Christos Taralytis, then referred to the expansion of the territorial waters in the Ionian. He said yesterday was an historic day, as after the decision of the government and the passage of the relevant bill by the Greek Parliament, our country expands its territory for the first time since the annexation of the Deccanese in 1947, about 10%. Anyway, regarding the developments about the pandemic and the vaccination, the government spokesman pointed out that it's obvious that we are going through a critical period during which the defense against the virus continues in combination with the counterattack through Operation Freedom for the vaccination. It's getting very militaristic, isn't it? The way they're referring to the virus. Anyway, the priority of the government for the next period, as the Prime Minister stressed yesterday in the Parliament, is the opening of high schools and lyceums. Anyway, as for the second part, namely the counterattack through what is now being classed as Operation Elmathea, the most complex undertaking ever taken by the Greek state in the field of health. We are proceeding according to the original plan. Now, the vaccinated, some with a second dose, exceeded 107,000 in total and 15,000 exclusively yesterday. It is self-evident, he says, that the rate of vaccinations is not static, it is dynamic and depends primarily on the quantities of the vaccine that our country receives. He also stressed the more vaccines that come, the more vaccinations will be given, always making sure that there is a stock so that the second dose is guaranteed for everyone. In order not to lose any vaccine, a replacement mechanism was also recreated, and this means that the instalments for the appointments that are not made will be immediately available to women and men of the armed forces, the Greek armed forces, and the police, who will take them with immediate response. So again, at the moment, we're still not seen any vaccine yet arrived here on the island for the ordinary people. Yes, vaccine has arrived for the health workers. Most of those have been injected. However, we're still waiting for more. We are a closed down society, so I think we're not a great priority at the moment. As long as our infection rate doesn't start to go up, although we have started to see it just creep up just a little. But again, we shall wait and see how that plans out. Now, also to continue then, the Greek government now does plan to increase the length of compulsory military service in land forces to 12 months from 9 months, and that has been confirmed. The decision was reached on Thursday during a meeting of the Council of Foreign Affairs and Defence, and that was chaired by the Prime Minister also. A formal announcement is expected by the National Defence Minister, whose name is Nikos Panagiotopoulos, and conscripts serving along the Turkish border or on the Aegean Islands are expected to be exempt from the new measure at the moment. Anyway, just a little lesson for you. All able-bodied males are required to complete 12 months of national service in the Navy and the Air Force, and military service in Greece is mandatory for men from the age of 18 and up. So there you go. Also, again, it's interesting now that they are now extending conscription service. Obviously, there's been a lot of saber rattling going on in the Western Mediterranean with Turkey, and that is still an ongoing process at the moment. Territorial waters have also been extended by Greece, which that's the reason why Turkey's not happy about it. But that extension of territorial waters was okayed by the UN early last year, actually, to be quite honest. Anyway, another little story again. It all seems to be doom and gloom on Friday, doesn't it? Anyway, the head of the police, Michalis Karalmanis, said on Thursday that a total of 323,000 fines have been issued since the start of the pandemic in March 2020, and this has amounted to 52 million euros. With 8.5 million checks conducted around the country for the implementation of the government's measures to stop the spread of the virus since last year. He has also revealed that about 1,000 officers who are in contact with the public have been inoculated against the virus since the vaccination programme began. And I don't think any of our police at the moment have been inoculated here on the island. Anyway, a bit of good news, all right? And finally, Alstom has delivered the first of 5 ETR 470 Pendolo trains to Transus, making the arrival of high-speed trains in Greece actual reality. Bless them. Anyway, the first of these new trains, which has been updated by Alstom, has arrived in Thessaloniki, marking the arrival of high-speed trains in Greece. This is part of the project implemented by Trainzoos, the main rail transportation provider in Greece, in which Alstom is to provide a depot modernisation and corrective maintenance for the 5 trains that will constitute the country's first fleet of high-speed trains. Now, the first trains will start operating between Athens and Thessaloniki from March 2021, and the other 4 trains are expected to be delivered to Thessaloniki by autumn 2021. So there you go. Absolutely fantastic. We got high-speed trains. I tell you what, I would just do the journey just for the sake of doing it. The way they've got this planned, it looks quite interesting. There's going to be a proper dining car on there, and the journey normally from Athens to Thessaloniki on the train used to take about just over 4 hours. This new service is going to knock it down to just under, just short of 3 hours. So again, that might be a nice little journey to do once we are allowed to travel. Anyway, let's have a quick look as to people tuning in. I can already see comments already being flashed up. Steve Hinklin is watching. Nice to have you looking in, Steve. Steve says Gallimera. Sue Dickinson is also watching as well. Nice to see you here, Sue. Delia Gussetti is also tuning in. Nice to see you as well. Ray Humphreys from a frosty Wiltshire is tuning in as well. Nice to see you, Ray. I hope things are good and he's looking in and watching. Patrick Curtin over there in Cyprus is tuning in as well. Nice to see you here as well, buddy. How's the weather over there at the moment? I hope it's a bit better than ours. Dave Lowry is also watching as well. Dave Curtin says, morning, Ginge. Paul Armstrong is also watching as well. Nice to see you there as well, fella. Andy Johnson is watching. Raffreg, buddy. Amanda Gregory up the hill. She's tuning in. Excuse me while I just burped there. Anyway, nice to see you tuning in, Amanda. Alan Woodhouse is watching as well. Malie Thompson is watching. Jane Butterworth, nice to see you as well, my lovely, tuning in as well. Carol Davis is watching as well. Jane Butterworth says, I don't know how I feel about that. I'm not exactly sure what comment you're talking about there, Jane, but thank you anyway. Tim Troon is watching as well. Jane Butterworth said that 4 police officers got fined yesterday in the UK. Yeah, they're not the only ones. There was another 9 of them done for having tea and coffee in a cafe. And I think that was Hampshire police, actually. And they were all, some of them were fired, if I remember rightly, because people said, why is it that you're in here having tea and coffee sitting down, which they're supposedly not allowed to in that area? And the reply from the police was, oh, we're tired. Anyway, they were videoed on somebody's social media. The story got out. And in fact, the attitude of the police didn't exactly come across in the best light. And the guy that making the point was actually quite right in what he said. And they basically, some of them were fined and some of them were fired. So I'm not sure if that might be a crossover of the same story or whether it's the same story, but obviously an update to it as well. But thanks for that anyway, Jane. Over here, I've got to be honest, you don't mess with the police here. People just literally try and avoid the police as much as possible. Although Jane and I are back there tomorrow to do the next stage of our biometric residency permit. So once again, yeah. Thanks for that one. Anyway, Yvonne Hughes is watching as well. Also, Yvonne says, morning from the Midlands. Nice to have you. Jane Butterworth, those joining the army. Yeah, conscription, that has been, I know what you mean now by that question. Yeah, conscription has always been a part of Greek way of life. If you don't do your national service, you can be actually denied having a passport. It is a bone of contention. Some people say it's a good thing. Other people say it's a bad thing. Me personally, as a former recruit training instructor, I could see difficulties if they tried to implement national service again back in the UK. I think the generation of kids that we have now, they would see that as an infringement on their civil liberties. Austria have a good system because they still run a compulsory conscription service. Basically what they do there is if you don't want to do military service, you can do what they call community service, where you work in a nursing home or an old people's home or something like that. So there is an option to do something other than military service, which might be a route to be looked at. But at the moment, most armies these days are getting smaller, more highly trained, more professional, higher qualifications to get into the forces, especially in the UK now. It's very difficult to get into the forces, and they just don't take anybody these days. They want quality people, like most organisations do. So again, and the Greek forces, they have quite a good reputation as well. And again, they have been fighting their ongoing, shall we say, disagreement with Turkey since time immemorial. Two NATO countries, eye to eye with each other. And because of that, they hadn't exactly been getting too embroiled in a lot of NATO operations everywhere, because they're too busy going after each other. However, I think times are changing with Turkey at the moment, and we will wait and see how it plays out as well. And Jane Farnworth said, they took my hubby, laugh out loud, talk about the British military forces there. I've got to be honest, I still think now, I was 22 years in the RAF Reg, and I think today, we discuss this, all us veterans, when we get together, that trying to get into the mob that I was in for 22 years now is probably harder than what it was when I went and signed up back in the 1970s. So again, take my hat off, due respect to all servicemen everywhere. It's a tough life. It's a hard life. It's hard on the families, that is for sure as well. And but Greece is running it their way with conscription, and I think a lot of that it's about cost as well, because one of the most expensive things about having an army is, the kit is quite expensive, it's the people as well. That's the expense, and the families that go with them. So by having conscripts, that sort of cuts out some of the other costs that are involved in running a full-time standing army. Anyway, she says his nickname was Damaged, don't ask. All right then, Jane, thanks for that. That's really cool. Right, now listen, I've got some really exciting news today. As you know, today is Friday. So today, Friday, from 3 p.m. until 5 p.m. UK time, I'm broadcasting live from here, doing my Request and Inspiration show. Thank you again for those people who've already been sending me requests. Had a bit of a problem with the show on Wednesday. Again, I've had to swap over broadcast systems. My other broadcast system at the moment is in the shop getting fixed. I have to have a new hard drive put in, so I don't know how long that's going to be. So hopefully the broadcast should run reasonably okay today. I'm hoping, fingers crossed, it runs smoothly. Anyway, the other good news I have, so don't forget, 3 p.m. till 5 p.m. UK time, you can join me live from Studio One here in Macardo, Requests and Inspirations, where I'll talk directly to you. But today is the first broadcast day that I will also be doing a broadcast on Beatz Radio, based in Canterbury in Kent, and that goes out, get this, 5 o'clock UK time till 7 o'clock UK time. Completely different format, different style of show, bit more dancey, bit more, now as it were, and that is going out 5 p.m. on Beatz Radio from Kent. I'm really excited about this, and if you want to get onto that show, just go to beatsradio.co.uk. I'll put a link in for you so that you can click onto there and listen to the show. It's not a video show, it's just audio, and the recording of that show will go up probably on Sunday, because that show is going to be repeated twice with Beatz, and I will then, once I get my other broadcast system back, I'm going to obviously make more than just one program a week for them. I'll be making 2 a week at the moment, maybe going to 3, but we'll wait and see how things pan out. But anyway, so today you can listen to me from 3 o'clock in the afternoon in Greece through till 5 o'clock from here, and then from 5 o'clock till 7 o'clock you can listen to me in Kent on Kent Radio, Beatz Radio, broadcasting from Canterbury. And don't forget, it goes out online anyway, so you can hear it. And you can hear it in your car and all sorts of stuff. I'm not sure what the system is they're using, so it's available everywhere. So I'm really quite excited with that. And Canterbury's a beautiful city, and you must go and visit it at some point. Anyway, right, that's it from me. I just got to say a quick hello to Billy Brotherston. I know your name, who's tuning in at the moment. Lovely to have you tuning in there, big fella. I'll be with you tomorrow. And once again, thank you, especially to Les Paul, for passing me and dropping me that information as well. And also the other compliments that you've been passing me and messages as well. I greatly appreciate that. I know you can't always tune in live because of the time difference, but I appreciate that. And don't forget that this broadcast also goes up onto YouTube. Although the numbers on YouTube don't reflect the amount of people that watch the show, it's really there as a record, and it's just a place that you can go back and refer. But please, if you go and check me out on YouTube, could you like and subscribe? Because I'm trying to grow that channel just a little bit more, all right? And obviously do a bit more with it, all right? So anyway, thank you for that. Anyway, Jane Butterworth says, enjoy your day, chat, catch up later. Cheers, my darling, the same to you. Right, that's it from me. Things to do today, I'm really excited. Ooh, looking forward to it. Anyway, you take care, have a great day, and I'll see you soon. Ta-ra.